in top lane. Also, you get the 2-for-1 on the Yuumi target. Malphite he's pretty big.
He enjoys his lanes.
He's also kind of off theme with the other splash arts. There's definitely like that blue and yellow hue, and then Malphite's just there. And honestly, it looked like he had something for lunch.
Where
wasn't sitting very well.
The green is coming out of not only his mouth but his eyes as well. Where is Malphite from? Do you know?
Ooh,
what region? Lore specialist. Come on.
I'm really failing here. I think
maybe you should check your book.
Kiana's region, I think. I'm not. They just made it recently.
Which one is that?
They made it for her, like in the lore.
Oh,
expansion.
Okay.
Anyways, whatever. Wukong, Nidalee, Twisted Fate, Aphelios, and Yuumi. Lots of smoke and mirror in the later stages of the game. And a lot of early game pressure that is able to be dished out through the mid and jungle. But the really scary thing is that top lane is gonna bleed if they don't manage to do something. And so expect Deft, or expect Chovy and Pyosik to try to pay close attention to that lane. But the problem is the way Malphite can itemize is a little bit problematic for this DRX team. It was a nice R5 save. It was a very nice way to shore up a lot of the problems in the draft and really bail them out here, because the R1 through R4, very, very, very lackluster. The problem is that everything hinges on that Malphite. And if he doesn't get ahead enough, or if he can't draw enough pressure and offset the imbalance elsewhere, it's still going to be a really big problem. Well, I don't mind Gen.G's team composition here, and that the Malphite is 1v9 potential. I think that DRX is still going to walk away with this one.
Alrighty. We'll see if that does.
Yeah, Scorch, I take back everything.
Oh. No, I mean, you said that DRX was going to win anyway, so maybe you want to keep that.
Well, I'll keep that, but
especially because of the Scorch.
He's laughing at you. And honestly, I really like the Shamrock Malphite skin. Whenever I would talk about that on stream, I would say that specifically you do this to blend in with brushes. You gotta go with the camouflage as much as possible.
Yeah.
And
is that the reason?
That there's some, color blindness maybe present.
Every advantage, perhaps.
This is scary because a teleport from Wukong could just end the game, and Malphite can't stop it. So Twisted Fate is also first to move with a gold card. I don't know what is going on. Wait, why?
It resets.
I don't understand why they're giving this up. No,
Chovy took a ton of damage.
Took a ton of damage. I don't know why Chovy didn't go down, and then you teleport in Wukong, and then you just type LOL in all chat. Shift Enter right now. Press a bunch of Z's with the Hangul keyboard enabled. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they didn't quite get that opportunity.
No, but it's totally fine. I mean, Deft, they're going to be the ones that get the EXP 1-2. No, they're going to get there. For
the 2. The 2,
yep,
still good. Still big.
2 EXP denied, and also Nidalee going to be much faster in the jungle now than Clid.
Yeah, she's going to hop the wall. Go to her crux. They're going over there. They're both pretty low.
Yeah.
No leashes. In this one, no top laner decided to TP or anything like that.
Very unsure why the lane is at this state. Also, the comment on Malphite strikes me as so bizarre because there's no universe where he probably wants to actually go AP. I think if he goes AP, he's trolling. And I'm not talking about Trundle.
Okay.
But I'm very, very surprised that he doesn't just either have press the attack or grasp, I guess, if he would want to go down that route.
We've questioned a lot of choices. We questioned the Scorch at the same time. So there's that. I suppose he really wants, he went Biscuit as well, so he went Inspiration second. And he really just wants to out-sustain and out-poke the Wukong, I suppose. That would be the main reason, I guess. To try to go Arcane Common is just spam your Q and have the mana and health to win out in extended trades. As Pyosik gonna easily pick this one up, but the Trundle got the right side one, so it's not a huge deal.
Yep.
And everything is just gonna stabilize after that initial level 1 shenanigan.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point right now, it seems like DRX, I mean, they're going pretty stable in places where everything should be very hard. I mean, BDD, you can see, is feeling very, very comfortable in this matchup for sure. And so, all things considered, it looks like we are in store for yet again another very slow early game.
Yeah, sluggish. Although, maybe that's not the right term because we did get that level 1 fight.
That is true.
So it didn't hesitate to get off the ground, but since then it's been a little bit of a bore.
And now this is a really good gank timing. Pyosik manages to come in here, find the golems. Clid is looking for a gank behind, but the problem is that the wave is coming into Deft, right? So
they're playing it well.
This is just the weirdest thing in the world. Where, yeah, okay, if you can kill them on this wave, they lose not only the wave, they also lose their lives. But with Deft having both cleanse and his flash, I mean, I don't know.
Rascal, meanwhile, over the wall. Nice escape there. Knew that he had to go forward rather than back. That would be his best escape path. And it wasn't just the cleanse. They got the heal and the exhaust out of the Yuumi.
You can see Chovy is actually trying to run down. I'm really surprised they didn't teleport in Doran and then trap with Chovy.
Now he's going to have to flash. But look at that 3-man root. But they are getting in there, trying to get him with the exhaust, but they don't have the damage. He's still alive. He's still alive. And that is going to be the end of these 3 members.
Oh, go next. Oh, go next.
TF picks up 101. Everybody's off to a fantastic start. BDD is going to get 1 free plate, but that doesn't really count in comparison to what we just saw. A massacre down in the bottom side, desperately trying to kill 200 years. It took them about 200 years to run that far down the lane, and it did not amount in a kill at the end of the day.
Well, that is... Oh, man. Let's take a look at this. This is so forced by Clid for no reason. He's trying to run away, and then Aphelios says, hey, Ashe, I have your ultimate.
All 3.
All 3 of them.
He gets stunned, exhausted.
Yeah, Yuumi.
Doesn't matter.
And then Trundle is trolling, no pun intended, as he tries to get the kill. Pyosik arrives, and then Chovy with the collapse on TF.
Watch this heal, by the way. Flash heal. Pyosik saves him there. And it did look like he was going to die.
집중해.
Concentrate. After that, after the nice.
I actually think max range Nidalee heal would have reached without flash.
He was feeling a little bit desperate.
Yeah, he wanted to just ensure that nothing went wrong, and so he flashed there anyway. But no matter what, I mean, this was such a big turn of events. The Azir is still strong in mid lane, but Twisted Fate's passive plus that kill and the assist, I could imagine that Chovy is maybe even ahead in gold at this point in time. Nice passive, by the way.
Yeah, it's definitely close, if not he's ahead. Take a look at the jungle difference in the levels. 6-4, as Nidalee went back and bought her full jungle item at level 7.
The game is so out of control, and you know, if you're Rascal, you feel really bad here because, well, he's going like AP-ish kind of Malphite. He has the Dark Seal, he has the Doran's Ring, he has Corrupting Potion, he has Comet, but you don't need to do this in order to win this lane, and then it's not going to be as valuable later. But the jungle matchup is just totally over. Clid justing 5, Pyosik justing 7. So,
yeah,
literally on that camp, this game is such a nightmare. Cloud Dragon's the first one of the game, and for Twisted Fate, who normally doesn't get CDR until he starts going Lichbane and Zanya's, he's going to get 10% on Destiny Gate. And for it being super early on, that is actually potentially useful to play around it off cooldown. And now, sometimes though, you can easily argue that, well, with how they play, it doesn't matter if it's immediately off cooldown, because he has it right now, but they're clearly not setting anything up. bottom lane, Ruler has Cleanse available, but even though Nidalee's in close proximity, they don't want to go for a dicey play, it seems. Chovy looking for a pink ward there, or control ward.
Is Rascal going AP? He picked up Dark Seal. He's got a Doran's Ring on top of this. Might go Catalyst? Curious to see what he picks up here. As he's going to back now and show us a little bit more. Oh, okay, we're going to be denied that.
Yeah, and we take a look at the total gold. 3 point, yeah, so Twisted Fate is at 3.7, BDD 3.4, despite having had that turret plate. And Twisted Fate's passive is a really cool ability, by the way. It's very, very nice. And all things considered, everything's going pretty well. And yeah, okay, Malphite is finally now going into the tank. He turned the Ruby Crystal into the Balmy Cinder, picks up the Glacial Shroud. He's going to go down the Build-A-Bear Workshop route.
Yeah. I got a little confused when I saw the ring and the seal. But it's very good for the sustain, obviously, in the lane with the Corrupting Pot on top of it. Don't see too many Malphites here, but we'll see what kind of impact he's going to have as this game comes along. He's kind of just sitting up in the top side for now. He didn't really get a chance to TP down bot for that last play.
Well, Rascal just trying to do whatever he can, but there's no real way to set up lethal unless Wukong really consents. Bone plating is proc, but BDD actually loses the trade there. And Pyosik's here. Yeah, BDD's got to be careful. Twisted Fate. Chovy thinking, okay, I can't actually get in range here.
Yeah.
I don't think that they would have had enough to nuke him. Even with a max range Nidalee Spear and a leap attempt, Shurima would probably come out before the stun would expire. So, for the Azir, Emperor's Divide. Bot lane in a very unfortunate spot right now. You can see Deft is respecting the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and that life might be here. And interestingly, Ruler just instantly auto-attacking the wave, not even bothering to go about this slowly. And you can see BDD trying to follow the Twisted Fate, trying to contain him.
Yeah.
Rod of Ages has already been complete.
You have to wonder, you know, after pushing that hard, what is the next play? Are they going to try to rotate mid, look for a pick? I mean, they're sending down... Okay, they're actually rotating everybody mid, including Rascal. They got the jungler here. There's no dragon or anything. It's just the Rift Herald's going to be moving down. They want to support it. And that's actually a nice Crystal Arrow. I think the Yuumi is absolutely dead as they try to CC it to death, as he did walk over a ward, and it was a really nice arrow to lock him down there. So nicely done by Ruler. Looking to turn it around now, but this is an Ashe with Cleanse and Flash. Only has to burn the Cleanse there. He's totally fine.
And the gold advantage right now only at 700. For DRX. Mountain Dragon coming up next, though. That's going to be a very big pickup, given that basically no one on the side of Gen.G ever gets penetration. Ashe is not a champion that typically picks up any sort of pen items, never really gets access to any of that, and then Azir probably won't be looking to go for any sort of a Void Staff or something in this game. And you take a look at Yuumi, and honestly, that's just not fair. When you think about it, I'm not sure that's not sure that's legal.
It's not fair to Yuumi. But it was a really nice arrow, right on point. Keria actually used heal for the movement speed to try to dodge it, and it did not work. So, getting some bonus there. We saw the last time Deft was down here, it looked like he was trying to freeze it, but that freeze is over now. And he's still behind about 20 CS here, so not having too much fun down in the bottom lane.
I'm just trying to CS the wave out right now. Everything's just going very slow. And I mean, this is something that, if we're watching this game here in the LCK, it doesn't really matter all that much that they're not utilizing Destiny Gate, they're not manipulating lane states favorable to their jungler. I mean, all of DRX's kills came off the back of Gen.G donking off in bot lane.
Yeah.
So, if it wasn't for that, you have Twisted Fate.
Oh, Pyosik.
Pyosik.
He was spotted. Oh, Clid has to flash because BDD used the blasting plant to get over the wall. As now Chovy gonna flash that one, but he's got the entire team on him, it feels like. But he's got a lot of support from his team. Rascal from behind gets a big double ultimate onto the two of them, and Gen.G are turning this one around as Doran now gonna come in here late. He's looking for the double knockup on everyone. Gets Ruler, gets actually Clid, will the Yuumi, who is still in the fight somehow. After all this, nearly picks off Dragon. And Dragon's getting in there as well. The gold card will net them another kill. As Chovy, not quite. As BDD is going to get over a wall. As that one looked pretty great to start for Gen.G, but Yuumi is just a fun champion, man.
Well, Twisted Fate was known to date Lady Luck at one point, so I guess Riot is really on point with her lore here as the Dragon changes sides. Take a look at this, Chovy. He goes in, and he flashes out of the way of the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, gets pinned against the wall, but remember, Rod of Ages, he's very tanky, has the stopwatch. Deft, that's the 2-for-1 on the Pog fight, and then Doran eventually re-arrives to the fight, goes for the Wukong ultimate, manages to bring down Ruler. BDD not able to do a lot, back into live.
Sorry to cut you off, but we got more action coming in here as now Life is in the front line. Pyosik, a huge ultimate comes in for BDD, but where's the follow-up as Ruler was there on the left side? He's going to pick off that cat, which is going to be really nice for him, but Pyosik goes in, and now Doran's in a little bit of trouble. He's going to get picked off here as DRX commit too far after picking up the Dragon. That's going to make it 4. Can they pick up Chovy? Not quite. And now BDD all of a sudden is 4-0.
This is pretty scary, as BDD, the Azir, is so big right now. And the Malphite is just going to get more and more useful as this game goes on. So Pyosik manages to land the steal, and then they could have just left. Braum is a one-man army there with the Unbreakable. Buys enough time for Azir to get in there, and then a really big problem this fight is Keria was not there, pretty much.
Yeah.
That was a very lonesome cat. And Deft goes down at the end. Chovy does manage to live, but that was almost an ace. And it has propelled Gen.G to a 3,000 gold lead, which is very, very scary.
Speedy once again on his main comfort champion. The Braum sets it up, baits them all in, and then BDD knocks him down. Just caught, I think, 3 or 4 of them with his ultimate in that one, and not having a Yuumi there was pretty massive. And after that, they were able to get the mid-tier 1, the bot tier 1. Top tier 1 is down. I'm not sure if they got it in that same player if that happened earlier. But definitely Gen.G have made a huge comeback into this game after a disastrous dive to start it off.
Yeah, by far and away one of the worst starts that I think that you could ever have. And they've managed to recover and salvage it so well, so it's actually really good to see their mental fortitude is really on point. And Pyosik, for someone that had a 2-level and an entire core jungle item lead, that early on, level 4, level 6, did nothing with it. So, World of Warcraft definitely being played effectively in the transition, but Gen.G's resilience in the game, pretty admirable. And Malphite picks up the Frozen Heart, and that is a very scary item against DRX.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's pretty massive against almost all of them, basically all of them on the enemy side. He's going to be doing so much. He's so tanky right now. The Build-A-Bear on top of it is going to help out with shoring up some of those other resistances. They pick up Shirley here. They're going to look to take down this mid turret. They will. BDD are not BDD. Gen.G are not wasting any time as a team that has BDD on it. They're just pushing down mid. Gonna get as much value as possible out of Shirley. They will pick up a big chunk there. And now we might have a bit of a lull state here because there's no big objective. We have to wait 1:30 for Ocean Drake. And that is going to be a huge focus because DRX, even though they did lose a lot in terms of gold and the mid-game after the fun early game for them, they did pick up the 2 drakes. So Gen.G are going to have to be very careful about not getting those away.
And that is really going to be the only win con that really still exists for DRX, is trying to get to that Ocean Dragon and the Soul Point. Deft is just so far behind at this point. On the Aphelios, the Yuumi is reasonably big. A little large.
Yeah.
Chovy does have his 2 items. And one of the things that would actually be nice to see is that BDD not be the only person that has the Grievous Wounds item. I think it's important for Ashe to pick up an Executioner's as well with that rune on.
Yeah.
Just because there's the Nidalee and the Yuumi on the side of the enemy team. 30 seconds until this dragon's up. Pyosik clearing out wards in his blue side jungle. And I don't know, maybe DRX is just thinking about giving up this dragon.
They're certainly not in position to contest it as a team. You can see Pyosik is slowly moving over. Chovy is around the area. He doesn't have flash. And I think he's got to be really careful, especially with Trundle Azir nearby. But it looks like they're just going to focus down the Drake. And DRX will give the first one away of what could be many in this game.
And just a lot of ping pong going on now. We have a 5-minute downtime. I can't really imagine anything happening.
The official entrance into the lull state.
Forbidden Love.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's me and Atlas, the lull state. Now you and Atlas are gonna.
No, you're the Pog state.
Own. Oh yeah. Well.
Sure. Yeah.
That is true actually. Yeah.
Yeah. The lull state was
What,
just.
have you come up with anything for you and him?
No, not yet. Maybe maybe a rollerblading crew. He's really trying to get me into rollerblading. I don't know if you guys know this, but he's a big rollerblader. And, you know, he loves to do, like, tricks and stuff. He's actually thinking about setting up a practice rail right now. In his, not inside his house, but next to his house. Or his apartment, I guess. Not sure exactly where he's going to put it. Maybe he can tell you about it tomorrow a little bit more. But we'll have to think about it. Not sure just yet. And now, Gen.G do have a lot of Baron damage, but I don't think they're going to try to force this. I think just the idea that they have the capability of forcing it down and maybe getting DRX out of position might be what they go for.
Yeah. Well, 3.5 minutes still remaining. Pyosik yet again with the Rod of Ages. He's at 4 minutes right now. But this last time he ended up playing Nidalee. And Clid going in there, looking for a ward.
Yeah, they're shutting down as much vision as possible, and they're gonna start it now. I mean, it's Ashe, Azir, so it's pretty massive in just the 2 of them. The thing is that they're gonna have multiple blue trinkets. They have TF, who he's got his ultimate. It's a decently long cooldown, but you can use that every once in a while. He's gonna use it to come down here, the bottom side, and do split pushing things. We've seen TF have some fun smoke and mirrors, as you like to call it, in later stages of the game, so don't count that out just yet. Okay, just a shooting star flying by. No need to worry about that.
Well, looks like maybe another Baron attempt, but TF has another blue trinket. Malphite.
TP's coming in.
Yeah, there he is. There's the big rock. Dwayne the Rock Johnson there.
Yeah. What is the thing that he says? Rock solid.
Who, Malphite?
Yeah.
Yeah, rock solid. Yeah.
Rock solid.
Never again, please.
I'm starting my career in voice acting. after today. Just hit me up. They stopped the Baron though.
I'd like to. No, it's fine. I was gonna do something that your teammates hear.
What?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. Don't even. Let's just ignore that. Move on. 1.5 minutes until the ocean, which is the thing that DRX cannot just give up for free. Again? Or, well, they actually can. It's only the second one. So in theory, if they wanted to keep scaling and let Nidalee's Rod of Ages go up to 10 minutes, or 10 stacks, I suppose that they could wait and also allow time for Wukong to get to Death's Dance. Because Malphite, at this point, has sort of slowed down in terms of what his items are going to mean. And here we go, yet again.
TP's coming in, so it looks like DRX no.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh.
There it is. He only catches Doran, though. They should be able to get Doran. Oh, the heal comes in, but they do have enough. And now Nidalee is just going to fall, and that should be the dominoes falling one by one. The rest of them not able to get in there as Chovy says, I'm out of this. I'm going mid. I'll see you guys later. Take your Baron. I don't care.
Yeah. And Rascal's cooldown so low on the Malphite. Chovy is going to manage to get the mid-tier 1. Ocean Dragon up in 25 seconds. You see Deft going for the response onto the Scuttle Crab. They're going to try to at least take vision around the Dragon, but now they're going to give this one up. Very, very unfortunate if you are a DRX fan. And honestly, I don't know how they can come back in this game outside of gimmicky backdoor attempts. And they only ended up getting Doran right there. I have no idea what Pyosik was doing on Nidalee.
Yeah.
As if he was going to add any value with a spear at that point. He just shouldn't have been there. And now coming back into live, Gen.G, I mean, they're up 5,000 gold. They have double ocean. They are pillaging the jungle. And the Baron really helped with the XP problems that were present in some of the places. I mean, Ruler now up 2 levels, 1 level in mid lane. Junglers are even, and Rascal is up 2 levels. I feel like this game is probably just over because at this point, Gen.G are so far ahead, but their team comp is it's also so much easier to play. And when I mentioned earlier on that I thought DRX would win in spite of the draft deficit, that was mostly attesting to early and mid-game prowess. At this stage of the game, nothing is really going to matter. Malphite's just going to go burr.
Pretty much. He's sprinting that money right now. And he's going to be smashing his face into some enemies here soon. And they're going to rotate mid, try to take out this inhibitor, but not quite. Thinking about going bot again. A lot of low health bars on the buildings. Still a lot of lockdown and potential from the side of DRX as we try to get in there with the Doran, with the Wukong. Doesn't quite pan out as immediately BDD just says no. And Chovy's just like, nah, you know what? I'm not here. I'm going mid.
And this is what their team composition is going to be reduced to, is this smoke and mirror. Over and over and over. Chovy going to use that blue card, try to get a mana restore. Wild cards up the center, another blue card. You press Q one more time. Doesn't get them both, so not impressed.
Yeah, it's not going to make too big of a deal in that circumstance. DRX basically just have to say, okay, we're going to try to play backdoor stuff, of course, but also just try to wait until this game goes later and later. Still going to be scary up against a really fed Azir Ashe, but at this point, try to avoid team fights.
I mean, the Nidalee spears just don't deal any damage to so many of the targets. She doesn't have any penetration. She's even level. And yeah, I mean, you can say that's a nice amount, but it's healed up already, so.
Double ocean and these Trundles, so it's not really gonna amount to much.
They have to pray to the heavens that Twisted Fate is going to be able to do something. And teleport coming in from Chovy.
Just kind of wave clearing at this point. Gen.G not going anywhere. It doesn't matter that they don't have Baron. They are so far ahead at this point. They can just get in there, take away the inhibitor, maybe go ahead and rotate to mid. TF thinking about it. They actually don't get the inhibitor just yet. There it is. And now we're going to engage. A bit of a knockup, but it's only Doran.
Damage.
And Pyosik's like, oh, well, I'll try. Ultimate gets down onto Deft, who's like, I wish I had some more mobility against this Malphite.
Oh.
And he's actually going to get away. Look at Chovy.
Yeah, Chovy trying his best on the right-hand side, but I mean, I don't think there's any way for them to save this. Deft is going to try to clear out these supers. And Aphelios is pretty good at wave clear, it seems.
Where'd
But
the minions go?
Teleport coming in from Malphite. And he's about to make them multi-fight as the minion, goes forward again. And that is going to be Gen.G bouncing back in the series in game number 2 after such a disastrous early game start.